Hey, how you doing there? My name is Alberto Collado. I'm a baseball umpire. I belong to the South Shore Baseball Association, and I work under a man named Walter Benson.
And how long have you been umping in the Boston area?
In the Boston area, actually, I came here 2001, so it's been 10 years today. I came here on June 3rd to do I would say, AAU tournament, and somebody named Modesto saw me umpiring. He approached me, and I gave him my number, and his boss called me up, and that's how it started. And I've moved to Boston to do a lot of baseball games.
So what leagues do you umpire in now for baseball?
I do the MSBL, MABL. I do the Yawkey League, the Park League, uh, AAU, high school, a little bit of college. Boy, so many that I actually it's so many that I right now I can't remember.
But how many games do you expect to do this year?
The last time I counted was 2 weeks ago, and I had 202 games. I average 230 to last year I did 270 games. So,
Well, how do you juggle that with your personal life, with family and work? And
well, my wife and I, all the kids are grown. They live in New York City, so that helps a lot. My wife's been with for so many years that I don't want to say, because in case she reads this, I don't, might be saying how old we are, how old she is. Uh, but I expect to do maybe 230 games this year, something like that.
so one of the things about amateur baseball that's very different than pro ball is clearly we're not paid. We're here for the love of the game. And for the umpires in particular, a lot of times guys don't know who the umpires are. They know all the guys on their team, on the opposing team, but the umps come, they do their game, and then they go. I know your approach is a little bit different. Can you talk about sort of your interaction with the players and sort of how you like to get involved with the guys on the different teams?
That's a good question because one of the law, umpire laws, says that it's not too good to be friendly with the players, but I I I like to do it opposite. Why? Because that way I could relate to the players on the field, and I could probably get them out of trouble, get myself out of trouble by just mingling with them and talking about certain plays that they might like, they might not like it. They get upset, and I could work with them, and this way that I could not, uh, how can you say, not throw the player out of the game. I usually only average maybe one player a season out of 250 games. The last 3 years, probably throughout maybe three players, four players, and I have a good relationship with the players, so it works perfect with me. I mean, so far, it's working absolutely no problem at all.
So what's it like coming down, being the one, with the one guy at the field that no matter what you do, half the people at the field disagree with what you say? How do you deal with that just on the field, and then when you go home, knowing that everything you do, half the people think it was wrong and they yell at you and they call you names? How do you deal with that on the field and sort of personally to separate the game from personal statements?
Yes, uh, as an umpire, I guess it comes with experience with the years you work in this business. You're going to know that one team is going to be happy, another team is not going to be happy with you. Of course, the winning team is going to be absolutely great. You're the best for them. But the losing team is going to be mad with you because they probably lost the game because of you. Matter of fact, I have a little story. It's true. We don't have time here, but there was a play this year that I did make the wrong call, and it happened that this team lost the game because of that call. That bothered me a little bit. It bothered me a little bit, but at the same time, as an umpire, you cannot carry one game on your personal life or a mistake you did or whatever you feel like a mistake you did, because you have to understand there is a next game tomorrow. So,
What are some of the toughest plays that you've had? Can you think of any plays that stand out in your mind that were particularly tough for you to make, or that had a tough reaction by one of the teams?
boy, I mean, if you want, I'll come back to that play. That play was the bottom of the seventh, tie game. Home team it's hitting, and we have the winning run, tying run at third, winning run at second, and I made the wrong call, and the guy from third scored the tying run, and the guy from second scored, so the game was over on a call that I have just made that it was incorrect. So, I mean, you have to learn how to deal with it. You know, it's a tough situation because really, you don't, as an umpire, you don't want the game to finish on your call. You want the players to win or lose the games.
So one of the things that I did when I was trying to get this story together is I wanted to get a feel not just for who I thought the good umpires were, but who the players across the Boston Amateur Baseball Network thought were the best umpires. So I put a question out there on Facebook, and I said, who do you guys think are the best umpires? And I had 3 or 4 guys that were named. Your name happened to come up a bunch of times, which is good because I knew you and I wanted to talk to you. But in an amateur league, what do you equate to being a top umpire? Is it just the calls on the field? Is it consistency? Is it getting along with the guys? What is it, in your opinion, that makes a good umpire versus a not as good umpire in this type of organization?
Well, quick answer to that is that thank you for the acknowledgement you guys are giving me. I appreciate that. But what I really believe that an umpire is only good in that game that he's doing that day. See, I don't think there is a good umpire or a bad umpire. I don't think there's a better umpire than another umpire. I just think what you do best in that one game you're doing that day, it's what really counts. So I try to do my best at that game that I'm doing that night or that day. I'm not better than anybody, but thank you again. I don't feel I'm better than anybody because I can have a good game last night and then come today or the next day and have a terrible game. It all depends how do you work, how do you approach the game, that game that you have that day.
What are some of the games that you've umpired that were sort of the most special to you? Whether they're championship games or games out of town, what are some of the big games that you have on your professional resume that you're really happy to have had an opportunity to be a part of?
Okay, that's a good question again for me. I was talking to my partner last night, and I told him that I do so many leagues, like I said before, Park League, what has prestige name, the Yankee League has prestige name. But in my case, my best game have been in the MABL, because I feel that the players on the MABL, they play with the heart. You know, the other leagues, the players, I can't opinion on the other leagues, but my best games has been in the MABL, and especially in the championship games. I say maybe 2-3 years ago, we had a really, really good series. It was the White Sox. I think the next team was the Cutters. I mean, one of the best series I've been involved in. I enjoyed that series so much. It was very intense. The guys were into it. It was so much beautiful baseball. Again, like I said, I do so many leagues, but I gotta say, it may be my favorite league to say. Maybe I'm getting in trouble by saying this. It's really the MABL, because the guys really, I feel the guys play with a lot of heart. You know, they're not the greatest players out here, but they give me the best games.
So, have you ever aspired to take your game to the next level, and what's involved in doing something like that, or are you just content to be part of Boston baseball?
Well, I am very happy to be a Boston baseball umpire. Very, very content. But yes, of course, one of my dreams was to move up in this business. I've tried very, very hard. I feel, or I'm feeling that it's getting a little late on me, but I will never give up the dream that I have always had, and it's yes to do professional baseball. Yes, that's been one of my goals in this business.
So, where was your umpire training? Where did you learn how to umpire for
Well,
the first
I
time?
mean, I got trained in New York City, and I got trained by these professional Caribbean umpires. I belong to a professional association in New York City, and I was taught by these mentors from the professional league. And then I also went and took a course in Florida on the Jim Evans School. But I myself, my opinion is that that the guys from New York City were the guys who really taught me the little bit I know now.
All right, is there anything else that we haven't covered that you think might be a good story to add?
Uh, yes, I like to talk about my fellows brothers in this, my other umpires, and I just want everybody to know out there how difficult this job is, and how hard all of us try to do the best we can. You know, I mean, we're not perfect. You know, we make mistakes. We're humans, but I want to congratulate my other partners because I really don't know one umpire or one partner on myself, and I do so many games with so many of them that I could say that they don't do it to the best of their ability, you know, the best of their ability. So yes, it's great to be around those guys. You know, it's great to have partners like the one I have here in Massachusetts.
So what's your schedule today? Do you have other games, and how do you learn your schedule on a daily basis?
Well, my boss, Walter Benson, we have a system. It's called the Arbiter on the computer, and then I usually get it maybe 1 day, 2 days beforehand. So today I have 2 games.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for talking to us today.
Well, thank you very much.